Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Chinelo's Talk. And please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, like, share, and click on the notification button so that you can be notified whenever I post new videos. And today is the continuation of my interview with Mr. Patrick. The last time he was here, he told us his story on how he left Nigeria to Libya, passing through the Republic of Niger. And please, if you haven't watched the first interview, please go back and watch it so that you can understand how we got here. And thank you very much, guys, for your support. So, Mr. Patrick, you're welcome. And thank you for telling us your story, and thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So, the last time you told me when you got to Libya, you actually got to Saba. So when you got to Saba, what actually happened when you got to Saba?
Yeah, when we got to Sabah, we had to start life afresh. First of all, we went to one mechanical shop that was run by a Nigerian.
Okay.
The mechanical shop was owned by a Libyan.
Okay.
So in that mechanical shop, we were given hospitality by that Nigerian. Then, the following day, we had to go meet one Nigerian that was also running a little restaurant where they do sell African foods. We also had to negotiate with the guy on how at the moment we'll be eating there on credit until we get something doing. Then we now had to go to the showground. The showground is a place where different workmen go to display the kind of work they do or job.
So guys, I would like to explain what showground means. Showground, I don't know how to say it, but showground is like a place where people who actually have different handwork, they get to stay there, and if you want a plumber, an electrician, any kind of person you want, you can actually get the person there. So it's like a place where people sample what they actually do, right? Okay, please go ahead.
Then at our arrival at the showground, we had to stay or join the clique of those that didn't have hard work. But actually, my brother with whom I went with was a bricklayer when he left, before he left Libya.
To come pick you.
To come and pick me. As a matter of fact, he was into plastering.
Okay.
So the first day we went to the sugar ground was for us to do an irregular job that has no specialization, for us to be able to get money or raise money to buy tools. So the first day that we went, we were lucky to be given a job.
But how can you be given a job? Because probably you didn't know how to do the plastering your brother did. So how are you able to cope and start working?
Like I told you, we had to join the clique or group
Okay.
with a slate of people that who do not have handwork. In Libya, in Libyan language, we call it Yomia.
Okay, you guys had to like mix up with the people that have handwork, like the people that
That
can
do
do
not
the job.
that do not have handwork.
Okay.
So we were picked as people that do not have handwork.
Okay.
When we got to the workplace, we discovered it was a pitch or a field that was meant for cultivation, but was filled with stones. So they asked to ask us to pick all the stones so we can free the field of those stones.
How many were you guys? How many were you?
We're just me and my brother, luckily.
Okay.
So after the work, that work, we paid. It was from that work that my brother now bought tools for his kind of work he used to do in Libya. Then we now paid off some of the debt we were owing when we came and were eating for us to get something doing.
So when you guys got to Libya, the food you ate was on credit.
Yeah.
So when you guys started working, you had to pay off the debt you
Yeah.
were owing. Okay.
So automatically, when my brother now then bought all the equipment he needed,
Okay.
he started working as someone that has a skill in his job. He then employed me. I will not call it an employment, we call it, he now asked me to be assisting him as a helper.
Okay.
During which I was paid by him at the end of a day job.
Okay, so your brother paid you daily.
Yeah.
Okay, that means you were like a supporter to him. You had to support him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is customary that those that do help people that do have handwork in Libya, they also learn alongside helping and being paid daily for the job you do.
So by helping, you get to learn the
Very good.
work.
Which means, to a long extent, you can
Become a master of your
you
own.
can become a master of your own and decide to or resolve to open or to start working as a master by also looking for somebody that will become a helper.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's how we were able to get acclimatized to the system. It was not an easy stuff.
I bet it wasn't.
Working for an elder brother or working for a blood brother, because there were a lot of
I'm sure there was a lot of factors there. Okay, and thank you for that answer. So the next question I have for you is, I guess you were not able to get a document. For example, when you get to countries like Europe or other part of the world, for you to work, you must have your work permit. So how are you guys able to work without work permits? I'm sure you guys didn't even have a visa or document. So how are you able to navigate through this without being caught? Like, for example, you are illegally working there. That's the truth. So how are you guys able to stay, work, live, and I know just live your life there? How? I just want to know.
It's a good question. As a matter of fact, like you rightly said, when they're illegal, and it is very difficult for you to have. As a matter of fact, in Libya they do not give work permit. And for me, it was also surprising at my entry in Libya. The same country that made it hard for you to enter.
Yeah.
At entry, were not bothered to repatriate you or deport you, which implies that it was strange that the same country that made it hard for one to enter the country, at entry, it could not bother to ask you for work permit, for you to be able to stay and work in the country. But that does not mean that it qualifies someone automatically to be a citizen or to live a free and unchecked life. As a matter of fact, for you to stay out of trouble or from the police or the military men, you one have to live a life that does not attract attention, as in if as soon as you enter a particular city or town, you remain there.
So it was as if your lives were restricted.
Yes, the kind of restriction of movement. So for example, when I was in Saba, I could not easily travel from Saba to Tripoli or Syria. If I could really travel, then I had to travel using being smuggled out of the town I am to another town.
That means you guys didn't have the freedom of movement.
There was no freedom of movement.
The freedom of movement, was it like only made for you guys, or was it actually made for any part of other like Ghanaians, Americans, different part of people that actually came to Libya, or was it only restricted?
Yeah, the restriction
made for you guys.
The restriction of movement implied only, or was applied only to the Africans, but not to the European. Because the Europeans, as a matter of fact, came into the country with visa. Okay. So automatically, they could travel from one place to another without being disturbed. But since we didn't go to Libya with visa, so we didn't have the right or the possibility to travel from one place to another without being checked. And if possible, one stand the risk of facing deportation. But there's something that was not balanced when it comes to traveling from one place to another. Yeah. If, for instance, a prominent Libyan decide to engage me in a particular kind of work out of my town, what does he do in that instance? He can carry me in his vehicle on a straight road, and at the arrival of a checkpoint or a police post, given his influence, the police at the checkpoint wouldn't bother to ask me to stay, to go back, or even arrest me.
Oh, that's partial. So the only person who can take you guys to another city No, he must actually have to be a prominent man.
Yeah,
So
a
normal
prominent
citizen
Libyan, not
a prominent Libyan. So a normal citizen can't do that.
a normal citizen can't do that. Even you as a person cannot do it.
Wow.
So that is the kind of life we lived in Libya. We lived in Libya as an alien. We were in Libya was supposed to be part of the African Union.
African Union. Okay. So generally, can you please just tell me generally how was life in Libya? Number one, as an illegal migrant,
Yeah.
and again as a black man, how was life generally in Libya?
Yeah, life in Libya was horrible. Because we were treated like slaves. As a matter of fact, the Libyans believe that you, a person of color, is an African, while him is not an African because of his light skin.
Because of the color of his skin.
As a matter of fact, they do colors then Njama Africa, which means
the
Africa, the black African. and
because they were white, they thought they were much better than you guys.
yeah, the Libyan man believed that being an African of color, the fact that you left your country to Libya means that you are starving in your country. You are dying of hunger. So for them, in Libya, the only thing you are entitled to is to work and feed yourself, which means you are not entitled to the pursuit of happiness. You are not entitled to the pursuit of a better life. That is to say, it is possible. As a matter of fact, it has been going on that most of the time when we do go to work for the Libyans, at the time of payment, they refuse to pay us.
Why? Why would they refuse to pay you?
Because they feel that to them,
you guys are meant to be slaves.
we are meant to be slaves, and that what we are entitled of is the bare minimum we need for survival, which is for food. So when at the end of a particular job or project, they discover that they owe us a huge amount of money. For a Libyan, why would I give
a black man such amount of
money? So with that kind of mindset, they decide not to pay you. And you cannot.
And you can't do anything.
You can't do anything. You can't even call the police on them. So, given that fact, what did most of us started doing? Because whether we like it or not, we needed to work. And they also needed our service.
Our service. So it was in a form of trade.
Yeah. So we had to apply a kind of what we call one of the rules of, or one of the saying of the Anekebet. The Anekebet said that since the hunters has learned to shoot without missing, him, the Anekebet, will learn to fly without perching. So, since we discovered that whenever there is into play a huge amount of money that comes to our favor, the Libyan people for whom we work for finally had to give us that money. What did we start doing? We now started collecting money in anticipation.
Yeah.
A kind of, given that we were bricklayers and we do plastering, we are able to evaluate beforehand how much money we have worked for
a short period
of time. And we had to go to the owner of the work, even before we finish the work, from time to time and ask for smaller money. We tell them, look, we need this money to feed. We don't have food. And some of them now, a kind of knowing too well that we use this method to collect money from them, decided to be supplying us with food for free at the beginning of the work.
So they actually did to you guys what you guys wanted to do to them.
Very good.
Just like when the hunters have learned to shoot without
very
bullets.
good.
So they actually use the same method like you guys.
We had to invent another way. we now discovered that the Libyan have soft heart when it comes to women, most especially their mother and their wife. So we want to collect money from them. We now tell them that our mother and our wife in Nigeria, they need money. So we really need to give them money.
I mean, they had a soft spot for real.
Yeah. So that was the method we were using to collect money from them from time to time. So that at the end of the project or the work, they will not discover that the money they owed us was small. Too small for someone to compromise his reputation. So in that case, we were able to avoid working and not being paid. There were other things in place like whenever a black man commits a crime, the Libyans refuse to act on the basis of the rule of law. Whatever black man that comes at their side becomes the actor of that crime. As a matter of fact.
So they were actually like profiling you guys, like racially profiling you guys.
Yeah.
So if, like, for example, if I'm a black man and I get to steal, so at that point, any black man they get around that vicinity
becomes
a victim.
The actor of the crime.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, they do say Njama Sawa Sawa, Kulu Sawa Sawa in Libyan land, which means all the Africans are the same. So automatically, if Mr. A steals something and escape the police, you the next black man that is found, even if you are not on the scene of the crime, somewhere else, and for them, if you look like that person, automatically they will arrest you.
Wow.
And a lot of Nigerians or Africans have been to jail, and some after their jail sentence have been deported for these reasons.
For a crime
they didn't commit.
Wow.
Another aspect that is that was painful and that was unwelcoming when it comes to life is we were not entitled to the pursuit of happiness when it comes to your social life. As a matter of fact, most especially your sexual life.
So you guys didn't have like a social life?
No, we didn't have a
you
social life.
You couldn't even have like a birthday party?
Where would you have a birthday party? You can't have it because automatically you live a triangular life. You leave your house to work, from work to your house. For those that are Christian, that bothers to go to church, you leave from your house to walk to house to church. And in that case, you don't have even the privilege or the right to even have a girlfriend, because automatically you cannot befriend a Libyan. Most especially when we're talking about people that sees you or that resist you.
That sees you as the devil himself.
That sees you as a devil himself, that sees you as an inferior being before them. Again, we are dealing with a country that is Islamized. They are Muslim. So As a matter of fact, if you are not married, you are not entitled to have sex with anybody. So this kind of situation pose a kind of difficulty in the life of us that are Christian, that believe more in social life, or a liberal life,
more in freedom
very good,
that God has given to us.
As a matter of fact, we could not drink alcohol because there were no shops in Libya that do sell alcohol. But the only place that you can get alcohol, and not even a good stuff, it was what we call gogoro, or they call it kai kai, a traditionally made alcohol.
So guys, in Nigeria, we have kai kai. Kai kai looks like Hennessy, Jack Daniel, but it's locally made. It's like the color is white. Okay, it looks like water, so it's locally made.
So the only place you can find such drink is where we call the Connection House. The Connection House were run mostly by Ghanaians. Then when the business became more lucrative, Nigerians also started running the Connection House. The Connection House often is being situated at the outskirts of every town, and most especially in the bush or in the farm of the Libyan that gave that apartment up for lease to the person that is running the Connection House. As a matter of fact,
so what is the Connection House made for?
Yeah, it's a place where, like I said earlier, we never had the opportunity to befriend girls, and that given the Muslim law that nobody is entitled to have anything to do with a woman except you are married. So this law that was put in place made it possible for the Nigerian girls that are coming from Nigeria to Libya to be able to find a lucrative business in prostitution.
Wow.
Because since you, the foreigner, cannot have a normal social life, social sexual life, with the genuine female or women,
or the kind of woman you want
very
to
good.
have.
So what happened? Those ones that knows that look, most men cannot live without this kind of life, had to started importing girls from Nigeria that were brought in Libya. Some remained in Libya in the business of prostitution.
But I want to
Some were taken to Italy across the Mediterranean Sea. From Italy, some were taken also to Germany, Spain, the UK, even up to the United States of America. As a matter of fact, the Libyan route was the main source of human trafficking for those that were in the business.
So most of these girls that came there, were they actually forced into it, or they came within?
From my own understanding,
Yeah.
they were not forced. But I heard that years behind, before I went to Libya, there were cases of girls that were forced. So when the girl came there and discovered that they were brought there for prostitution, they had to stand their ground and say that they prefer to die rather than do or prostitute themselves for money. Girls like that were helped by genuine Nigerians. They donated money, gave the girl a transport fare back to Nigeria. So, to my knowledge, those that were there in Libya, as at when I went to Libya, knew what they wanted to do. So, like I was saying, the convention house now became a point of social meeting, a point in which, from time to time, we do go to have our fun as humans.
Okay, guys, I think this is going to be the end of our interview. Please, like I said before, you can actually go back and watch the first video so you can understand how we got here. And thank you guys for your support. Thank you for the like, the shares, and thank you for subscribing. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you very much, guys. He's my husband. No, so for you to know all this, you have to go back and watch the first video. He's my husband, and he's telling his stories, and I'm bringing more stories to you guys. You're going to hear their stories, and I might probably tell some stories by myself, and you get to hear it from the horse's mouth. So guys, thank you very much, and thank you for your support. Thank you very much, and do have a nice day. God bless you all. Bye.